Hi guys, Andrew from Polo. We want to wish you a very, very happy and safe and healthy new year and holiday season. There were so many crazy projects and things at Polo Reef this year. If you missed any of our stuff during the year, watch this YouTube video and you'll be caught up. Thank you and have a great and happy holiday.
This is the moment of truth, folks. This is it. 11:22. Let's see how long it's gonna take to fill.
I don't think that's gonna fucking leak it anyway.
I did that silicone. It's bulletproof.
We're gonna make this somewhat of a mixed reef with the acros on top and meats and scolies and all that stuff on the bottom. Ganies and some
frogs.
some euphyllias.
So it's gonna be a very different, interesting, more realistic to what a reef is.
Yeah.
Not that the 17,000 isn't.
I view it as the 17,000 as the deep side of the reef wall,
Yes.
and this is the shallow side of the reef wall in the lagoon. Right. How are we gonna manage giant clam on the bottom that needs 200-300 par, and right next to it, acanthos that only need 100 par or something of that nature of a problem?
You're always going to have a shadow. You're always going to have acroporas growing. You're going to create even more shadow. You know, I mean, right now, you know, it's all open and shelvy.
Yep.
Even with, as it is right now, empty. There are spots like, you know, if we were to par, that you will find weaker spots.
Right.
Well, once corals go in there, in my opinion,
6 months,
where
like a
that
year.
ramp is going to be.
Yeah, of course.
So we don't surround it with monstrous, you know, table acros
Right.
that are going to shadow then the
Right.
clam.
That's the challenge of
Being
these
that
mixed
the
reefs.
flow is the least thing to move.
Mixed reefs are the hardest to do,
Yeah.
but I think the way the tank is designed and everything, it's just a matter of planning ahead of what you like to see
Right.
as far as corals altogether. This thing is filled. Oh.
We're keeping live rock in here, just with flow and a heater. This needs no introduction. This is the leaky tank we broke down. This is its next door neighbor, which did not leak. I'd say this got maybe 10% of the corals, and most of the fish went in here. We used this tank in quarantine to basically lift, put them in here, and then from here we moved them to the clam tank. And now our clam tank has some clams, but also is loaded with acropora in no specific style, but they all seem to be doing reasonably well. This particular Sunday morning, I got woken up by Maria, who saw tons of water on the floor and heard that, well, we all know what that sound is of that dry pump, that grinding dry pump noise. So she woke me up at 7 in the morning. I went downstairs hoping that something came out of a pipe, you know, just something easy that I can fix.
Had a leak, and he's like, what? Okay, I'll be there.
When I went downstairs, tank was halfway drained. I believe it was leaking from the speed of which we saw happen Probably 1 to 2 hours. Right.
I think it's more than 2 hours.
You know, when I walked down the stairs, I smelled that coral smell, which is not a good smell. So I immediately grabbed the pump, took water out of this big display, filled up the tank. You know, Marie and I were filling up that 250. It's just pouring out just almost as fast as the water's going in. But at least I knew the coral was getting wet. And then when I called Yeltsin, how long are you gonna be here? And he says 7 minutes. And I was like,
Let me take a guess. You was here at 4.
it's 4 minutes. Hope it never happens to you. But if it does, water, space, equipment.
And close friends.
Keeping the extra stuff on the side.
Yeah.
Or call Yeltsin.
Yeah, call me. I'll be there for
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
matter where you are.
Everything's like.
We are at JFK. We're in the cargo terminal right now. Our fish just got cleared and we're loading them on the van and we're gonna get them back. We have a few really special koi in this shipment for a really special customer. We're getting some beautiful koi over to the Polo Pond in New York.
Taking a road trip deep into New Jersey to see the koi that I ordered from Japan many months ago. There must be 15 fish, plus our prize tournament fish that we're taking to Vegas. Can't wait to see them. I never saw them in person yet.
Welcome to our farm. It's a 100-acre farm. It's our warehouse filled with all pond supplies you can imagine. 6 greenhouses filled with tens of thousands of koi. Some amazing fish are going in here today. So I'll pick it up for you so you can see. That big silver one, you remember that one?
Oh my God.
So we wanted to keep them separated by the breeder that they came in from.
Right.
Kiko Kuru.
Different, but beautiful fish.
We definitely think Andrew's prize koi ticks all the boxes, a potential for a grand champion. Andrew baptized this prize kuaku with the name Jennifer Aniston. It's a 6-year-old female kuaku, 89 centimeters in size. This is an amazing example of a 4-step kuaku, one of the best we've seen. It has a huge body and really deep benny red. Jennifer Aniston will lead our charge to Las Vegas as a competitor for grand champion.
I hope it wins the jackpot.
That's what I'm hoping for.
See you in Vegas.
First All-American Koi Show.
Definitely a little nervous. I just want to be included in the koi gang. It's a small little club. Stacking of the fish and the space. We got the right plan. Jackpot, baby.
The Polo team together with Fitz Fish Ponds are flying 8 of their best koi to Las Vegas. Those koi are not new to travel. They flew 40 hours from Japan to America, so 5 hours to our destination should be a piece of cake for them.
We did it. Great ride getting the fish here. Got all 8 koi in the tank safely.
Today's Judgment Day. What a better place to crown the first American Grand Champion in the city of Las Vegas.
I'm nervous and excited and happy to be here. Either way, gotta have fun. Judgment Day. We're gonna win something. Maybe it's the Friendship Award.
Oh my goodness.
You'll get a mouse pad.
We'll get a mouse pad.
So 4, 2, 3, Kohaku, tank 7.
We won? No way.
Yeah.
We won. We did it, guys.
Did it.
Nice work, Andrew.
Yeah, congratulations.
Brian Fitzsimmons built his pond at age 13 in his parents' backyard while they were away on vacation. In 2008, he started Fitz Fish Ponds and has been growing the company ever since.
Every koi at our farm is from Japan. We got some fish going in here today. Some small ones that we bought.
Let's see what we got here. Now the scaleless ones don't do well at the shows or
They can do well in different
in the
varieties.
varieties.
Yeah, for best in variety or most unique.
Right.
Or shows that are categories and trophies just for the best Deutsch koi. And something like this can do really well with that.
2,500 fish coming in today and 170 boxes of koi.
So all the fish are going in this front pond are coming from one breeder. So we have 95 big fish, all from Marseille, going into that pond.
And the pond was empty before that.
It was empty. We hit the whole pond with potassium permanganate to knock back all the bad bacteria that was in the pond before. And we raised the salt so we can acclimate them to what they're used to back in Japan.
That's the new one we bought.
Yeah, the most recent one. Oh,
One ying. This pond will be so full, you gotta get those goldfish out.
yeah.
Now, you never have any problem with a koi not getting along with another koi.
You know, the only thing that we try to be careful of is mixing males with females.
Right.
But the males tend to like chase after the females. And, you know, in our ponds, it's not as big of an issue because the walls are straight. There's no rocks,
Right.
so it's not a problem. But
Bang the females around, right? The males?
yes, yeah, they do.
Well, thank you for coming down.
Oh,
and
my pleasure.
I can't wait to
And-
deliver
and,
these koi to the Polo Pond.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
A few months ago, you might have seen disaster struck the Polo lab. One of the secondhand 250s leaked and flooded the whole entire lab. It almost cost Andrew all of his coral and fish in the tank. Luckily, they got to it in time and saved most of them.
What are you guys waiting for me?
Hurry up. What's taking you so long?
I'm trying to move it, but I got like
fucking glass.
So how many suction cup we have? 4?
All right, come in right there.
2, 3.
I've got a piece of wood there, so it should be good. All right, you're gonna be very back.
John, go easy.
If it goes all the way up, it won't work.
You know, over here they say what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas.
We drilled the 2 drain water change bulkheads in the tank. Joe got the left side return plumbing done, and now we're just gonna freshwater test the tank for 2 days.
Oh, let's talk about these 2 tanks.
Okay.
This is our project that just came in. These tanks are a little bit taller than the previous tanks, so they're now 280 each. We have brand new stands, all aluminum. It all matches now internally, and we're really excited about these. There's one more thing very special, finally, that's gonna come to this house, hopefully in one piece this time. The 900-gallon drop down is scheduled to arrive on the 22nd of this month. Happens to be a vacation day for me. I'm gonna be in the Bahamas, which is good luck because the big display, 17,000, came when I was on vacation and it all went fine. You're not gonna believe it when you see the video on the crane. The tank has to be craned over the house and through these doors with a 1-inch separation between the tank and the door and get down these stairs with the crane. That's something that I'm glad I'm not going to be watching live. I'll be happy to watch it on video.
Last year, the first attempt for the delivery of the 900 drop-down tank failed. Now that the tank is on the ground, the plan is to have the crane boom it up and over the house towards the back door to the basement.
Crazy again.
Well, they're figuring how to strap the tank and keep it balanced since the tank is shallower on one side and deeper on another. So the key is to keep it level at all times while it's being lifted. Dream team, dream work, miracles.
It only happened in Polo Reef.
Not kind of an issue. We have to go through the house to get it in.
We could bring the forklift in here.
Try it out.
Now that we're done with the sketchiest part, the crew has to dolly in the tank through the basement door with just a few inches of clearance. Some of us might be relieved, but it isn't over yet.
You're higher than the pipe right now.
Are you?
You need that foot.
Question is this, boys.
Almost.
It's good. The tank inside is better now. You're gonna have a coffee now.
The 900-gallon tank is in the home safely. I was not here when it was delivered. I saw the video when it was flying over the house and was happy not to be here. Now the fun part begins, plumbing and scaping.
At Polo Reef, the first step is always safety.
To take the fumes from the glue while we're gluing in the tank, because the fumes are very, very strong.
What began as a slow start quickly became a sprint. Once the team hit their strides, there was no stopping them. As the aquascape began to get higher and higher, Andrew became inspired.
This is my valley I always wanted right here.
Yep.
And
It's three-dimensional.
yeah, it's three-dimensional.
The aquascape, it was finally complete. The 900 gallons started to take shape, and it looked beautiful. Let's check in and see what the rest of the team thought.
It's looking good.
This looks great.
It's good from every spot.
I'm really digging it.
With the aquascape complete, it was time to hook the system up to the sump. Polo Reef uses an advanced plumbing system. Here's John to explain how it works.
So from the 900, there's a 3-inch and 2-inch pipe that run through the concrete slab here and open up under the fiberglass decking down there. They connect with the 2-inch and 1.5-inch pipe from the 150 in the office, which is the anemone tank. They are teed together in a trench and go from connect to a 4-inch and a 2-inch that run all the way back to the sump. After the water from the 900 and 150 are teed together, they flow in this path here. They flow underneath the lab floor the entire distance. They flow underneath the elevator that we use to bring the salt in. And they flow to the other side of this room in the sub-basement. And then it's too loud down there. Then drops down to the sump, which is about 20 feet below this floor.
Finally, after a year plus, we have the 900-gallon in, plumbed with salt water and cycling. The waiting game now starts with the ugly stage and finishing this cycling. By late fall, hopefully we have a beautiful reef tank. See you next time and have a great week.
"40 students from Central Campus's Marine Biology program traveled all the way from Central Iowa to visit Polo Reef. Andrew and the team had a fun day planned for them.
Baby cowfish, look how cute it is!
This place is amazing. There's so many types of fish.
After the students settled in, they had a special presentation ready for Andrew and the polo team.
Social media, guys.
Okay, Olivia, you're up.
I'm Olivia Boyle, and at the Central Campus Lab, it's student run.
And I just wanted to share my favorite thing about our program, which is just the opportunity to work with sea life in a landlocked state.
My name's Ian.
Yep.
I'm a lab assistant, so this was my project over the first semester of school.
It's difficult for them to swim quickly. They're not very
Yep,
aerodynamic.
they just sort of weeble wobble.
They're box fish.
In the back, we're gonna see some of the areas of filtration. We're gonna see the lab holding systems. It's a lot of water.
Can I take that home with me? Like, I feel like we could just put it in a coffee cup. I'm so serious.
It's a temporary holding tank. It'll probably be torn down in a couple weeks.
I have scientists make me strong of fluoride.
I'm making a test with it. Maybe like a mimic octopus or something like that. People that have not seen the pond yet, let's stand over here. And
But these are our future Aquarius.
Thank you again.
Pleasure. Bye, guys.
That was good, Andrew. You did it. If you guys remember on our Facebook group, we had the Tank of the Month challenge, Polo Reef. We did it for 4 months. We had 4 winners. And out of those 4 winners, we picked one, which is the grand prize winner. And that was Rocky, known as Koralito online. And we're flying Rocky to New York. He should be getting here in a little bit. He's gonna get to see this tank in person and the rest of Polo Reef. And we're super excited. It's gonna be fun.
Oh my God.
Surprise!
Hey, Andrew.
You might need a drink.
Probably.
Yeah.
What's up, bro? JC.
I even put on the waterfall for you.
Oh my God. Oh, my.
Really?
My hair. Oh my God, it's so much better.
Oh my God.
Congratulations, Greg.
Yeah.
Rocky is a wealth of knowledge and even had some advice for Andrew.
You do this side and then front.
In the cave,
in the middle, yeah.
In the cave.
Yes.
Right.
You can put some more there.
Right, which means I have to keep building out, you're saying?
Yeah.
Another layer of as it comes forward. Yeah.
What's a polo tour without checking out the lab?
My hair is like standing up.
After catching up and admiring the 17,000 gallons some more, it was time to head outside to see the polo pond.
We're going right now? Koi pond, I can't wait, but the champion's not here. Jennifer Aniston's not here. Oh my God, I want to get in there and hug them. I love the showas, the tan shows.
Yeah.
I'm not really into Kohaku, but because they're like, they always win.
Right.
It's like, you gotta have them,
right?
But they're not my favorites. I was looking forward to meet Jennifer Aniston, but she's not there today.
And our red guy that matches the orange, the nicer one, our Asagi. How about our real Asagi?
Yeah.
I can stay here all day.
Congratulations on being the Tank of the Month winner. Let's toast to this great hobby that brought us together.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you, Andrew.
It was an amazing, amazing day. We are proud to have you.
Oh, thank you so much.
Really proud to have you. Look at all the space you have here now.
That's a hard place to reach, but yeah.
See that space?
Yeah.
Maybe this piece is small enough to go there. Now, a long way.
Maybe, but then I would like to take a lot of this out.
Patty wears a weighted vest to stay in place while she works. Once situated, she takes a breath off the regulator. This is to make sure that everything is okay before proceeding on to her mission. Unfortunately, there seemed to be more infected coral than what was initially thought. She will need to delicately remove the infected corals for inspection, one by one. This can get tricky. Each of the coral has a neighbor that could potentially break if she moves the wrong way.
So the first pieces we're going for are the ones that need to go out and checked first. That's the plan.
Coral has this white spot where it's something's killing it, whether it's bacterial or parasites.
The Montipore eating nudibranchs will treat with dips and removing them manually. And then the bacterial infection will be making the paste, the deamoxicillin and calcium carbonate, and applying it to the infected area.
Then we'll make some more room for the anemones. There we go, she's got it. Beautiful. So that piece had flatworm eggs.
Now that the infected corals have been pulled, Andrew needed to find replacement corals to fill the 17,000 gallon back up. In true Polo Reef fashion, he had a lot to choose from. The team uses underwater epoxy to secure the coral to the rockscape. It's completely safe for fish and harmless to the coral.
Spin it the other way. The other way. That way.
Like that.
It's enormous.
Yeah, huge plate.
Patty, thumbs up. Spectacular.
Lighting for any reef aquarium system is incredibly important. Outside of making a tank look beautiful, some coral use light as a food source. Too much or too little light can stress the coral and weaken its immune system. A disease outbreak can spread really quickly in an aquarium. This makes it really important on getting the light just right.
It needs more light. And we got to get something that's shaded over there instead.
Patty is the diver for today's mission. She will have the delicate job of testing the light intensity from different areas and angles in the 17,000 gallon tank. As always, she conducts her pre-dive checks before entering the water and getting on scuba.
That's 170, 180. Keep going up. On the aquaros, you want to be sort of above 200, maybe below 500. And that's exactly what we got.
The larger coral on top have shaded the coral below. This may cause disease, so the coral has to be moved. It's easier said than done.
Shades. That's not bad. Perfect spot.
Coral does need space to grow, but it's also important to Andrew that it matches the rest of the coral that it's living next to.
Perfect.
On the other side of the tank, Andrew locates a spot that he wants Patty to inspect. This area is deep and can sometimes cause issues.
43, guys. No light. There was no light there. You see what happens? It's being shadowed by the corals above it. Instead of being too much light, it looks like there was not enough light. So now he'll check for bugs on the Monty.
Based on the reading, the team decides to remove the coral. Dunn takes the troubled coral and brings it to the lab to inspect it further and diagnose it. During this particular examination, Alex finds something he rarely sees. He goes in for a closer look and he's surprised. He quickly grabs the team to explain what it is.
Common name is sea spiders. They can be smaller than that to multiple feet wide. They can get huge. I'd like to keep them as a pet, but we'll see.
Routine maintenance at Polo Reef requires a team of dedicated and passionate people. Over the years, Andrew's done a great job at finding the best talent to keep Polo Reef running smoothly.
In this episode, we're going to focus and highlight probably the best investment I've ever made, Dr. Alex Hall, aka the Reef Vet.
A $15,000 fish passed away today. Alex wastes no time to get to the bottom of it.
We lost one of these deep water anthias.
Alex takes 3 steps to examine the surface of the fish. Step 1 is to scrape the fish. Step 2, he looks at it under the high-powered microscope. In step 3, he slowly examines the sample for anything that might stand out.
Nothing overly exciting yet, no. But you can see there's, bacteria going through, essentially around these gill microfilaments.
Alex is determined, and he continues his search.
So you can see tiny, looks like static. What that static is bacteria.
Alex finally finds his cause of death, quickly brings what he found to show Andrew.
There's a hook in his stomach right there.
There's an actual hook.
Nothing you could have done in a million years. The only thing would have been maybe an x-ray, and we're not getting that out anyway.
And the first for everything, right?
I wasn't expecting to find that in him. Nothing we could have done. This is actually sticking out of his stomach. It perforated through his stomach.
Andrew has built an exceptional team over the years. Alex is a great example of what it takes to run an aquarium of this size.
Jonathan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the materials and how they came and were put together and the problems we had after that?
The dimensions of the tank are 15 feet front to back, 15 feet left to right, a total depth of 9 feet with the window being 7 feet of that, 2 feet below grade. The 2 feet that are below grade are not acrylic, it's a FRP pan that the window sits in. That actually came in 2 pieces. So the main returns from the tank are provided by a 3-inch return in each corner of the tank, as well as computer controlled 2 6-inch valves that open and close.
What's any gallons per minute going through there?
So on a closed loop, it's approximately 300 gallons a minute. On the open system that runs down to the sump. Right now we're flowing about 600 gallons a minute.
There are two 1,000 watters in the corner. Those are the square ones.
Those 1,000-watt LEDs are equivalent to approximately 5,000 or 6,000 watts of metal halide is how they equivalent. So to get the water from the tank to the filter room, we had to run through about 70 feet of house. So from behind the tank, we run through the lab into the next room here, which Andrew will take us on a tour of, which is where a lot more equipment is. And it's also the path of these pipes. This is our heating source for the aquarium and all the water change tanks as well. These are two 600,000 BTU boilers that
Loch Navar.
Each one being 600,000 BTUs.
This is the most efficient way in this little space to be able to reduce nitrates. The sulfur reactor is filled to about here. You get a nitrate coming out of here 0, but it's slower reaction time with the water.
On the top of the pit here, we have 2 more Dectron units, which are for different dehumidification in different areas of the house. On the computer system here, we have a layout of all the piping and the equipment that's running. Here we have the sump level, which is approximately 1,787 gallons of water in the sump right now.
Guys, this is our RO pressure.
Last week, Andrew and John took you on a behind-the-scenes tour of Polo Reef. Today, we're diving deeper. We're going to take a walkthrough of the sub-basement, and later on, we're going to meet up with Alex the vet.
At the base of the stairs, we have a computer screen to our right here, which shows our flow rates, sensor levels. We immediately also see the sump for the 2500, which is currently up and running with a rotary drum filter, which is more prevalent in the aquaculture industry. As the drum becomes clogged with dirt, the water level on the left-hand side of the filter rises and hits a sensor, which triggers a washing system. Behind these, to the left here, we have the water change tanks. We have a 5,000 gallon water change tank that we use with salt water. That's for the 17,000 primarily.
So we're about to do a test that we have done quite often here at Polo Reef. We have 2 of these machines. They're not the most accurate. So we're gonna calibrate both of them to the atmosphere, and then we're gonna put them both in the tank. They're both calibrated. We'll put them in the tank for 20 minutes and see what the TGP reading is, the oxygen and the nitrogen. Okay guys, we're gonna check out the TGP readings now. Is reading 104.5 with the residual 106. Oxygen at 8 milligrams per liter, so it's not terrible.
Hi, I'm Alex the vet. Just going to go through some of the equipment that I use on a day-to-day basis here. First, we have this stereoscope. Essentially lets me look at the surface of different corals, different flatworms. So this can only go about 50x or 50 times magnification. This one can do about 2,000. So again, much stronger magnification. This lets me see different bacteria, different protozoa. So when I scrape the fish, I'll look here for external lesions or anything like that. And then I look for bacteria and or protozoa with this scope. Sometimes we even send out bacterial cultures that get sent to the lab, that then the lab then grows the bacteria and then tests different medications to that bacteria so we know what medication to use and what it's most susceptible to, rather than trying to guess and then possibly creating resistance, or the bacteria is already resistant to the medication we're trying to use. Just got in this Madagascar flasher and this jewel wrasse. Going to give them a quick scrape, see if there's any external parasites. They're quite fragile, so I can't squeeze them too hard. Just gently scrape the sides of them, making sure to get both sides. So you can see a little bit of mucus on there, a little bit of scales. And then about a week or so, we'll scrape again. Again, if they show any clinical signs or any of them die, then we scrape immediately. But until then, we try to keep it like a low stress environment. Again, these guys tend to be quite fragile. Just another day.
Today we are getting a very large batch of purple queen anthias. They are very difficult.
The process begins, and the Polo team is a little bit nervous. These purple queen anthias are extremely difficult to get through quarantine. After several unsuccessful attempts, the team is confident they have a rock-solid plan.
Well, we've been anxiously awaiting the purple queens. We've been quarantining for several weeks. We haven't lost one in quite a while, and I look at them, they're all eating, and we've weaned them on frozen foods as opposed to live, and I suspect it's all going to come back clear.
This bucket's going to have an anesthetic in them, so again, they won't feel any pain, and they will be, non-responsive. So again, so it's not like I'm scaring them, hurting them, anything like that. I just take a clip of the gills, look under the microscope, looking for any damage to the gills, any, fluke. I like using the triocular scope first, just because again, it lets me see things in a little higher magnification that maybe my eyes would have missed. These guys are incredibly hard to get a gill biopsy of, just because they're so small. I lift up the operculum, I go back into the recovery.
After checking all of the purple queen anthias, the verdict is in. They all received a clean bill of health and have passed the Polo Reef quarantine process.
I'm really proud of us here at Polo Reef. This was a huge team effort, and we hope to enjoy them for many years to come.
Andrew made the personal decision to not let the previous attempts to quarantine the anthias deter him. Instead, he pulled the Polo Reef team together. He uses technology, science, and previous experiences to perfect the quarantine process. Last time Tulio came to visit Polo Reef was during the LED versus halide battle. He came to test and show Andrew how UV affects the health of the coral. Today, he's coming to show Andrew some new lights.
Remember how I was saying about the spread and distribution?
Violet's gone.
See what I mean? So it's just a different distribution. Right. You see how you're getting that fluorescence and pop?
What would you say is the spread per foot?
Well, here's the interesting thing, right, Tusi? If I take this off the tank, I'm illuminating your feet.
Right.
Tulio brought a light that packs a serious punch. The 150-watt coral light, which is rated for commercial use only.
That's just one light.
That's full.
Right, that's just one light.
Right.
So like, for example, if you had two of these, you'd be, the spread on these, yeah. What we've been able to do with this particular light especially is come as close as we can get right now to that halide spectrum.
Everyone heads to the lab to see the true power of the lights with the spectrometer.
See the spikes?
Right.
The main thing you want to see is that curve right there.
Right.
Because that's what's giving us that broadband
Okay.
light that halides are so noted for.
How many watts am I using here?
If those lights, oh, you have 4 radions on there.
4
so, and radions alone.
And 3 blades.
So you're well over 1,000 watts on that tank.
I'm very impressed, I have to say.
If you guys remember, this tank had to be craned over the house and through a 1-inch doorway of this little room. So I want to take you through a little walkthrough of the tank and how it stands now with coral and lighting. In terms of acros, we haven't done a lot. We've added a few here and there. We did some work in the back with the staghorn from Worldwide Coral, the green stag, and we put in Walt Disney next to it. The torches are sort of where we want them to be now, and we've added some hint of chalices on the dark parts by adding this new Kessel light. We light up the back wall for chalices. When we match the Kessel light to the Illumimagic, so it blends well. I want to talk about the fish. We wanted this tank to have smaller fish in general. We wanted it to be anthias and wrasse dominated. We also came across many baby purple and black tangs. But lastly, we came across a koi tang that just caught our eye, that had been in captivity for 2 years. He's right there. He's not as big as we thought, and his attitude is to play nice. And now I'm gonna feed him, and you'll see him in action.
Andrew likes to keep his fish happy by feeding a variety of different foods. Over time, this type of diet pays off. The fish are all very healthy, and rarely are they picky eaters. With the tank nearly stocked up, today, Andrew wants to put the finishing touches on the 900-gallon dropdown.
Hi, Michelle. Well, we're wondering how you're going to actually physically get in this tank today. And we've been looking forward to this moment. And they're all going to go on this back wall.
Once Michelle is all set, they need to clear the bottom of the drop down to make sure nothing gets damaged or destroyed. As they begin to build the wall, they realize quickly that this is becoming a puzzle with pieces that just don't want to work together.
I just think it has to be lower, away from the acro. A little down, a little bit.
It's been a long day so far for Michelle and the team. Being underwater for this long, it gets exhausting. Finally, Michelle gets the job done and goes running for a well-deserved hot shower.
We had this vision of a chalice wall, and we knew it was going to be difficult to do. Congratulations, we did it. The last part now is just the cabinetry and making this thing nice for our guests.
It's the season for giving thanks, and the Polo Reef team set out for Fragsgiving in Boston. The event was packed with some great vendors, coral, and company. This year, the Boston Reefing Society decided to give back and created the Joseph A. Venuti Jr. Marine Science and Conservation Scholarship.
So at Polo Reef, one of our main missions, probably the main mission, is to support programs in schools. So I give you the recipient of this year's award, Ericka Cabell. Congratulations.
After traveling to Boston, Andrew opened his home for the scholarship winner to come visit Polo Reef. Once they arrived at Polo Reef, Ericka was immediately surprised. And it turns out, Ericka loves dogs.
Hi, baby. And there's Phoebe. This is pretty much Andrew's daughter.
Oh, yeah? Oh, you're so cute, sweetie. Hi. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. How are you?
How was your weekend?
Good.
Yes, you made it here good?
Yeah.
Another congratulations on the scholarship. Why don't you just give us a quick synopsis of what you presented at Boston and what your project is?
I'm studying, so as you know, coral reefs occupy less than 0.1% of the global ocean floor, but support 25% of all marine life, and they're one of the most threatened ecosystems in the world. But I'm studying a soft coral, Hawaiian endemic soft coral that seems to resist thermal bleaching, and it's even increased in abundance after freshwater flooding events.
The bleach at all? And any change of color?
The blue ones seem to be bleaching when I did it, but the brown ones did not bleach.
Right.
Yeah.
All right, that's really great, and happy to have you. And I want to show you all the stuff in the back.
That's amazing.
10 years of work.
Do you have a favorite fish?
Anything from Hawaii I can't get anymore.
Yeah.
They headed into the lab to look at the back end of Polo Reef.
So,
clams?
This tank, we're running a clam experiment on dips, antibiotics, trying to figure out what kills them.
Ericka was blown away by the amount of beauty that surrounded her at Polo Reef. She was taken back by the colors and the amount of different coral Andrew has. Even though she's surrounded by beautiful coral in Hawaii, she was still stunned at what she was seeing. Down in the sub-basement, Patty showed Ericka a lot of the equipment, including some of the holding tanks, the sumps for the 17,000 gallon, a little bit of the plumbing and how the water flows, and of course she showed her the computer that helps run everything safely and smoothly at Polo Reef. You can't visit Polo Reef without feeding the fish. Ericka, with the help of Yeltsin, had a chance to start the feeding frenzy. It turns out Ericka also loves koi fish, so Andrew took her out to the pond to check out some of the beauties. The koi were not shy today, and Ericka had a chance to feed them. They were really hungry and active today. Andrew took Ericka upstairs to show her some of the projects they're working on, including the 2,500 gallon, as well as the anemone tank.
This is 2,500 gallons of work that's gonna get fish and coral very soon.
Ericka was particularly fascinated by the anemone tank and how well the clownfish have established their symbiotic relationship to the hosting anemones. It's beautiful to see. It may have been Ericka's favorite part of the tour. Thank you for all you do, and we can't wait to see what you accomplish. We hope all of our viewers enjoyed, and more importantly, we hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Clams have always been a part of Polo Reef, but taking care of them is incredibly difficult, and finding exactly the elements they want to live in, it can be very challenging. Today, Andrew continues his mission to create protocols and procedures to keeping clams.
You may have seen our articles on clams for rent. You may know that we've had some issues keeping a lot of our clams alive in our clam tank.
The basic elements he's looking at are lighting mixtures, intensity, and the quarantine process. He has 2 tanks set up. One is the established shallow tank in the back, where the clams are already living. This tank is attached to the 17,000 gallon system, so he has to be really careful on what goes in here. The other tank is the 200 gallon tank in the lab, where new clams are first placed. With 2 clam tanks, Andrew has the ability to run tests and compare the results.
So what we're doing here for now is creating the same exact light and the same par in this tank and the clam tank. And the par is roughly the same at around 300, 3 and a fraction, which is pretty good for a clam. The only real differences now is the TPG, total gas pressure, is going to be higher in the clam tank because it's higher in the main system. This is just a regular ordinary tank with a skimmer. I think that the TGP runs at 101 versus 103 in the other tank. And we just did a 0 sulfur water change to bring the sulfates down. So now that's no longer a variable.
Alex the vet shows up to perform a swab and send the results to the lab.
We're going to take some clams, we're going to swab them, we're going to have an antimicrobial bath, and then we're going to swab them again to see how the bacterial populations change, as with the same process as we do with the fish and the coral. Again, as we've been having some problems here, the clams haven't been doing great in the clam tank. Is that because of bacterial infection, viral infection, environment? And that's what we're trying to slowly rule out. The tip of the swab is completely sterile. I'm just going to get some of the mantle here before he closes. And we're going to get some of the foot. So we're going to send these bacterial cultures to the lab. Once we get those results, we'll share them with you guys. We've got some results.
Swabs?
Yes, the swabs.
Oh, let's sit down. Tell me all about it.
On every single clam that we swabbed pre-bath, we were seeing 2 different species of Vibrio. And then every...
Which one is the real nasty one?
So the Angeliticus that's actually the exact same species that we cultured and treated in the tilefish. But we can see that the known pathogens and the known Vibrio are being eradicated from that bath procedure. Again, when we were doing, the necropsies with the clams, we were finding dinoflagellates within them, which are extremely toxic.
That's another issue, the dinos.
Again, moving forward, I'd like to look more into the kanamycin just because of how susceptible everything was and its bacterial cycle. And that's why I think it's a better choice. I'd like to maybe possibly do, swab before baths and then, 4, 5, 6, 7 baths later, swab again.
Again, happy holidays, health and happiness to all of you guys. Stay tuned for 2025. We have so much more stuff, from experiments to new projects. We also look forward to giving back to the youth, to having schools come over, and to educating you all. Please like and subscribe, and we will see you next year.